We need to talk about what may be one of the hottest stocks in the market right now. I'm referring to Alder Biopharmaceuticals. That's ALDR. It's a small-cap developmental stage biotech company that's seen its stock double since late April. Some of that move is because the stock was rebounding from a 24% pullback the previous month. But a lot of it has to do with the market's newfound embrace of biotech, not to mention what's going on at Alder specifically. What exactly does Alder Pharmaceutical do, biopharma? Here's a company that develops, this is very important that you understand this because it's speculative, antibody-based therapies with two very promising drugs that are both in phase 2 clinical trials, one for chronic migraines and one for inflammatory diseases like rheumatoid arthritis, RA. One of the big reasons Alder stock has been on fire is that the company released some extremely positive data for their migraine treatment last month, and the analyst community has been raising their price targets like crazy in response. Plus, we know we have many more catalysts coming in the form of clinical trial results in the second half of the year. However, we always have to ask ourselves, after the stunning move, has Alder gotten ahead of itself, or is it still worth owning? Let's take a closer look with Dr. Randall Schatzman. He's the co-founder, president, and CEO of Alder Biopharmaceuticals to get a better sense of his company's prospects. Dr. Schatzman, or Randy, welcome to Mad Money. Have a seat, please. Thank you.
Glad to be here.
Before we get started about what your drug does, I think that there are a lot of people who have never experienced migraines, who don't know it, who don't know how bad this is. So why don't we first tell people what you're trying to deal with, what the need is, and then what Alder does.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Jim. I think the thing to understand is in this country alone, there are 36 million patients who have migraine. And amongst those 36 million, there's about half that suffer from 5 or more migraines every month of their lives.
Can you work if you have that?
Absolutely not. And in fact, some of these patients are suffering from 15 to 20 migraines every month. And when you have a migraine, unfortunately, what happens is you experience nausea, vomiting, light sensitivity, sensitivity to noise. And so all you really want to do is go into your room, pull the drapes, turn off the lights, and hide from society.
And my understanding is that the goal with your company is not to try to give them aspirin when they have them, but to actually prevent them.
That's exactly right. The target that we're going after seems to be the primary initiating event for migraine. And by having a long-acting, safe agent on board, like a therapeutic antibody, what we're able to do is prevent that initiation from firing off the migraine from the get-go.
Long-acting, how long?
So in this case, the one dose of this drug lasts about 6 months in these patients.
Now, there are other companies, notably Lilly and Teva, very big companies that also have competing drugs. What is your, I know you're in trials, but the claim that your company's getting makes me think that you have something that may be better than those companies.
So one of the things that the team at Alder is able to do, in my mind, is make monoclonal antibodies that are better than property-wise than anybody else is making. So they're long-acting. We have very rapid onset of the efficacy that we see. We have convenience in terms of how we dose those antibodies. We manufacture it with a technology that allows us to be very efficient so that the costs are actually minimized as well.
Convenience factor versus the others, what does that mean?
So what we believe patients in the migraine space want is to dose themselves less frequently. Okay, so the other programs are focused on once-a-month dosing, and we think that we can go with once-a-quarter dosing in this case.
And intravenous, needles, ultimately something pill form?
So we will present 2 modes of administration. One you can show up at your doctor's office and have a simple IV infusion. Another preparation will be for self-administration in your own home.
Now, I saw the self-administration. It's for healthy people. Does that mean healthy people who suffer migraines, or just healthy people to try it to see if it doesn't hurt people?
Well, we initially test in healthy people just to understand how the drug performs. And then we progress into patients once we have a grasp of how to dose the drug.
And for the people who are already in, you're seeing, when you say rather immediate, you're saying that maybe people that haven't had many migraines since they've started? From what you can tell? So,
in fact, what we see is patients that have 10 and 15 migraines per month actually have 0 migraines. That's
okay,
exactly
that's important
right.
Because the current formulations that people are trying to do, they're just trying to cut down the frequency and cut down the duration.
That's right.
This is 0.
Yeah, we see about 1/3 of the patients that have no migraines.
Well, there isn't anything these people wouldn't pay for that. Now, rheumatoid arthritis, another disease that people don't know what it's like. This is not just regular arthritis. It's something far more serious. Now, you're earlier on that. What are the prospects?
So the drug that we have, again, is one that acts very rapidly. We've done a head-to-head trial with the best-selling drug that's out there now. It's called Humira.
Exactly.
And actually, the Alder drug delivered more patients to remission than did Humira.
Humira is the greatest selling drug of all time. So you're talking about a drug that's doing $16 billion. You think that I mean, the prospects of that.
In the study that we did, it delivered more patients to remission than did Humira.
And is this, once again, because you have superior ability to be able to do antibody work?
Again, this is the team at Alder that can define therapeutic antibodies that have really favorable properties.
Well, see, I understand now, because the difficulty for me when the stock has doubled is how good can it be? But obviously, these are two gigantic unmet needs, or needs that are met by something that is inferior.
Right.
Well, I got to tell you, do you have enough money over time to be able to develop these to get them to phase 3?
So today we're well funded. We raised about $200 million in January, and that will take us through the next significant clinical milestones that we have upcoming this year.
Now I get it. It's big. Okay, that is Dr. Randall Schatzman, Randy, the co-founder, president, and CEO of Alder Biopharmaceuticals, RA and migraines, gigantic unmet needs. Mad Money's back after the break. Booyah! Jim Cramer here from Mad Money. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube. Click here to subscribe and get the jump on my exclusives with CEOs, plus market news, investing advice, and a whole lot more.